morning, friends. Let's tell some silly jokes. Let's see. What do you call two bananas on the floor? What do you call two bananas on the floor? Slippers. All right, let's see. What do you call a sleeping bull? What do you call a sleeping bull? A bulldozer. All right, friends, let's warm up with some yoga. Let's stand up and stretch our arms out wide, feet apart. Let's bring our arms together over our heads. We're going to form a mountain, a tall, strong mountain. And now let's go all the way up to the sun and say good morning, sun. And then down to our toes. Good morning, toes. Let's come back to the center. And now let's put our arms out again. We're going to bend our knees and stretch towards this hand, okay? We're going to do warrior because you are mighty and strong. We're going to do warrior pose. Big stretch. Okay, let's come back to the middle. And let's do the other side. Big stretch. Let's come together. And back to center. And let's gather some flowers. And let's get a bubble wand in the other hand and let's smell the flowers. And blow the bubbles. Smell the flowers. And blow the bubbles. Last time, let's smell the flowers. And blow the bubbles. Okay, let's sing a song. That's a good way to start the day. We are going to sing the fish song where we choose. We're going to count. We're going to start with 1, and we're going to go up to 3. We're going to go 1, 2, 3 with our fish. So first we need to choose a color, and then we're going to make our fish swim in the water. And then we're going to go bubble, 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 pop. Okay, so let's start with 1. Let's do red. One little red fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. One little red fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 pop. Okay, let's do 2. What should our next color be? Let's do yellow. 2 little yellow fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. 2 little yellow fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 pop. What do you get when you mix red and yellow? Bring that together. We're going to have 3 fish, so 1 plus 2 is 3, and then red plus yellow is orange. So let's do 3 orange fish. Okay. 3 little orange fish swimming in the water, swimming in the water, swimming in the water. 3 little orange fish swimming in the water, bubble, 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 bubble. All right, friends, that was fun. Thanks for singing with me. Let's get to our story. This is a favorite in our house right now. It's called Sootypaws, a Cinderella story by Maggie, Rudy. And thank you very much to Henry Holt and Macmillan Publishing for allowing us to read this with you today. So Sootypaws, there she is. Let's see. That must be her. A Cinderella story. There once was a mouse, and her life was no fun. When she was a baby, her mother was eaten by a tabby cat, and her father took a new rat wife with 2 daughters. Then he died too, leaving her alone with her stepmother and stepsisters. The step-rats had no love for the little mouse, and they made her do all the work while they sat on the cushions eating coconut bonbons and reading magazines. Here they are. At night, she curled up in the fireplace ashes to keep warm, so they called her Sootypaws. Sootypaws missed her parents and wished most of all that someone would love her. She thought about running away, but where could a little mouse go all alone? The only friend Sootypaws had were the wild creatures who lived in the garden. She brought crumbs from the table for the ants and gathered the fur from her comb for the bluebird to line its nest. She complimented the frog on the tadpoles, and she always gave the rosebush a drink of water. "Daughters," cried the stepmother one morning, "there is a ball tonight at the palace. The king wishes to find a wife for his son, the prince." "Ball, palace, prince!" shrieked the sisters. "Yes, and why shouldn't he choose one of you?" said their mother. "I'm sure you are as lovely as any in the kingdom." A muffled snort came from the fireplace. "Oh, there you are, Sootypaws," said the stepmother. "Prepare our gowns at once." All day long, Sootypaws washed and ironed while the rats gossiped about the ball. She tried to imagine the music, the banquet, and the whirling dancers. "Oh, how I wish I could see them," she thought. When the step rats powdered and frilled and left for the ball that evening, Sootypaws went outside to sit by the moonlit pond. The frog rose to the surface and looked at the droopy mouse. "Anything wrong?" he asked. "Oh," said Sootypaws wistfully, "I wish I could go to the ball too." "You will go to the ball then," replied the frog, "for there is a full moon, and it is a very good night for wishes." "How can I go to the palace?" Sootypaws asked. They will turn me away in these raggedy clothes." The moon quivered and a single rose petal floated down. "Your gown," whispered the rose bush, as a flurry of petals softly wrapped around Sootypaws. "I'll give you my best feathers for a fan," said the bluebird. "You have never knocked down my webs," said the spider, "so I will weave the finest lace for your collar." "Take these," chanted the ants, "and thanks for the crumbs." They held up an exquisite pair of green slippers with heels made of rose thorns. You see those? Here they are. Everybody joined together to help Sootypaws, who had been so kind to them. The apple tree dropped its reddest fruit for a coach, and 4 fireflies lit the lamps. "We will pull you," said 2 blue-bellied lizards, and they showed off their muscles with some push-ups. A great moth unfurled its velvet wings into a cloak, and a coachman in splendid green livery handed Sootypaws into the carriage. "Thank you, dear friends, thank you," cried Sootypaws as she rolled away. "I'll never forget this magical night." "Goodbye," they called. "Have a wonderful time." "But be back by midnight," warned the Bluebird, "for that is when the moon magic wears off." What dazzling sights Sootypaws saw at the palace. There's the ball. Pretty fancy. Chattering voices rose above the music, and the ballroom sparkled with 1,000 jewels. Everybody turned to look at the beautiful stranger, and a murmur ran across the room. "Who is that?" they whispered. "Who is she?" "May I have this dance?" asked a mouse with diamond buckles on his shoes. Let's see, that must be him right there. He's got diamond buckles on his shoes. "Oh, yes," said Sootypaws, and they spun out onto the floor. Wait, before we turn the page, look at those treats. It's pretty fancy. All evening, Sootypaws and the prince, for that was who he was, danced and laughed and ate strawberry cream puffs. Even though her feet hurt, Sootypaws was having such an exciting time that she forgot the Bluebird's warning. When the clock struck midnight, she snatched her paw away from the prince and scurried outside. "Wait," he cried, "I don't know your name." Poor Sootypaws. Her coach was just a red apple lying on the ground. All that remained were the shoes with the rose-thorned heels. "Drat these pointy things," cried Sootypaws, and she kicked them off and ran barefoot into the night. When the prince ran after her, all he found were the little green slippers lying on the path. And the next day, "Desperately seeking damsel," read the stepmother the next morning. "The prince will marry the lady whose foot fits the slipper." "He's looking for that mysterious mouse," said one of the sisters sourly. "He didn't take his eyes off her all night." "I'm sure I could wear that slipper," declared the second sister. "I have such teeny tiny feet." "Mine are even smaller," said the first sister, "and the prince will surely marry me." When the prince arrived that afternoon with the green slippers, the rat sisters pulled and squeezed and curled their toes, but they could not force their feet into the tiny shoes. "Let me try," said a voice, and the prince spun around. "It's you," he cried. "Yes, prince," said Sootypaws. "I am so glad to see you." "I found you," said the prince, "but I don't know your name." "The rats call me Sootypaws," she replied, "but my mother named me Rosie. Do I have to put those thorny shoes back on?" "Of course not," said the prince, "but will you marry me, Rosie?" "I love you, Prince," said Rosie, "but I don't want to get married or be a princess in a palace. I want to run free and have adventures." "So do I," said the prince, standing up, and he scowled down at his fancy shoes. "Look at these dumb things," he said. "What are they even for?" Rosie took his paws. "Leave them behind," she said. "We can go together." So the prince kicked off his silly shoes and ran away with Rosie. and they lived a life full of adventures, and they never wore shoes again. And of course, they lived mousily ever after. That's the end, and they have such beautiful end papers here with all of Sootypaws' friends and Rosie, as she's now called, having a delicious, fantastic party with all her lovely friends. And that was Sootypaws, a Cinderella story by Maggie Rudy. I hope you enjoyed that story. We will sing 5 Green and Speckled Frogs today. Okay, we are going to need, let's get ready. We're going to need 5 frogs. So get your 5 frogs out. And we're going to need a log. Make our arm into a log. We're going to take our frogs and put them on a log. Okay? 5 green and speckled frogs sitting on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 4 green speckled frogs. 4 green and speckled frogs sitting on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 3 green speckled frogs. 3 green and speckled frogs sitting on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are 2 green speckled frogs. 2 green and speckled frogs sitting on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there is 1 green speckled frog. Okay, let's go as fast as we can. Okay, ready? 1 green and speckled frog sitting on a speckled log, eating some most delicious bugs. Yum, yum. One jumped into the pool where it was nice and cool. Now there are no green speckled frogs. And before we go, let's sing our goodbye song. I'm gonna stand up. You can stand up too, and let's tickle the stars and tickle our toes and turn around and around and around and tickle our nose. Reach down low and reach up high. Story time is over. Let's wave. Bye-bye. Bye, friends.